We go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. I'm Svea Becker from the SAP Community, and I'm your host today. And we are talking about SAP Build Process Automation. You may have noticed the rebranding, which have been announced last week, but I do not want to spend so much words about this one. I have two speakers here with me. We have Sebastian Schroetel, who is the head of low-code, no-code products at SAP, and Thomas Volmering, who is the chief product manager for SAP Build Process Automation. And this is a series, so do not miss the other two calls. This is the first one. The second one is on November 24th, and the last one is on November 28th, so that you have all the updates. And now I'm going to hand over to Sebastian. Welcome.
Hey, warm welcome also from my side. I'm very happy to introduce together with Thomas SAP Build and especially SAP Build Process Automation to you today. So yes, short disclaimer as usual. So everything that you see here is the current state of SAP thinking, and of course any kind of roadmap items that we might show or not show are of course also not a legal commitment towards the future. Now, without further ado, let's jump into the topic. Many people have asked me over the last weeks, why low-code, no-code? Why is everyone talking about this right now? And I usually explain it like this. There is three, I would say, challenges in today's business that all the enterprises out there are tackled with. On the one hand side, we have an accelerated demand for agility and cloud solutions. And that was even exceeded by the pandemic. I mean, we had not only the pandemic, but also a second major event that changed the way how businesses run and how companies need to execute their business processes. And this always has an impact also then on the enterprise applications. And the need for cloud raises because of this, because with cloud comes more agility. On the one hand side, there is limited resources. We have significant resource shortage, and also budget is usually limited in IT organizations. And then the next one is also the 50th year birthday of SAP this year. 50 years ago, enterprise IT landscapes have been simple. We used the mainframe server architecture. Today, large companies maintain an average of 129 different applications, and it's significantly increasing. So more complexity, limited budget, and a higher need of agility. So what could go wrong? And now low-code, no-code is one way out of it. And on the next slide, we'll see why. And the question that CIOs ask them is, hey, I have a limited amount of developers. How do I make them more productive? Then I have a lot of enterprise IT tasks like automating processes, extending applications, where I might not have enough developers, but there's a lot of business experts out there who have knowledge about how to deliver applications faster. And why not involving those business experts into also building applications? And then last but not least is also, which is in the heart of minds of all the CIOs out there, is how can we innovate and how can we create a safe space for our business experts and enterprise developers to roam in when they help us or when they execute tasks on creating applications, creating process automations, creating business pages around the enterprise IT landscape. Now, low-code, no-code offers, and when we move to the next slide, low-code, no-code offers us a solution in several ways. And some statistics how low-code, no-code actually, which impact low-code, no-code has. We know, and this was a little bit the challenge from the last slide, we know there is a limited amount of professional developers. So, and in 2021, there was around 1 to 2 million job openings for professional developers that could not be fulfilled. We expect this number to grow to 4 million in 2025. So there is not enough professional developers out there. And now the main part of low-code, no-code is we are enabling actually business experts So those people who are running the business process day by day, people who are working in finance, people who work in procurement, people who are working in HR, we enable those people to actually be part of the enterprise IT cycle of creating automations, creating applications, creating business sites. And then not only that we enable a new persona to build software, we are also making the professional developers more efficient. We expect around 25% efficiency gains for professional developers by using low-code, no-code tools. And low-code, no-code is already widely adopted. There is no entry hurdle. The entry hurdles are quite low. So by 2025, we expect from the professional developers, not the ones from business experts, which are coming on top. From the professional developers, we expect, and we expect already 33% of them using and will use low-code, no-code tools. So all the signs show out of the market towards low-code, no-code is going to be one of the next disruptive elements in enterprise IT. Now let's move to SAP Build, the big announcement on the next slide of TechEd. SAP Build is now integrated, and it's not just a rebranding, it's actually an evolution of a set of products. So we have evolved SAP App Gallery to SAP Build Apps, ported it to BTP, added more functionalities to it. We have SAP Build Process Automation, which is an evolution of SAP RPA, SAP Workflow Management, and SAP Room. So 3 products evolved into one citizen developer experience. And then last but not least, we have SAP Build Workzone, which is an evolution of Launchpad and Works and the old Workzone solution into also one. And they also have, and they operate with each other, and they operate together with the backend services. So we build visually, we integrate smoothly, and we collaborate also across different roles across SAP Build. Let's move to the next slide. Good. How does SAP Build look like? SAP Build comes with a unified user experience, and the unified user experience looks like that. We have an entry point for the business experts. So they enter SAP Build, and they are asked, let's build an application or a process automation. In that case, we want to build an application. And what you see here is now the power of low-code, no-code. I can create a full app without even coding. So this is the drag and drop experience that we know. It's actually something that we know from tools like PowerPoint, for example. So imagine people who can build a PowerPoint slide can also build can actually also build a user interface in an application, because the user experience is more or less the same. SAP Build apps can connect to any kind of backend services. So here, S4HANA OData services, and this is also new in SAP Build apps compared to, let's say, the AppGyver solutions in the past. We have now a powerful back-end development functionality with building data models and also building logic. So you see no coding required, an absolute no-code experience for building also business logic. We can build processes, and this is a deep dive Thomas will do later on SAP Build Process Automation. This is how you build an approval workflow. From that is triggered, we have the first approval step, and we want to add a secondary approval step to it. That triggers at the end also a project creation in S4HANA. So this is how it actually looks like. So this is also how a business expert can change and extend and automate processes around S4HANA. So an easy citizen developer experience. Important is also content. This is one of the main differentiators where we have put the 50 years of SAP process knowledge not only into tools, but also into content. So customers can make use of a wide range of pre-built content that can be automatically used and extended. And last but not least, SAP Build Workzone for building business sites, typical portal use cases, employee portals, supplier portals, but also entry pages into the world of software for end users. SAP Build also comes with a harmonized lifecycle. So business experts and also IT experts can see all the different applications and automations they have built on one page. They can deploy it, undeploy it, and also manage the life cycle of those in an integrated experience. Good, that is the big news. And now let's dive a little bit into the two other components before we move to Thomas for SAP Build Process Automation. SAP Build Apps, like we saw before, is the part of SAP Build to build applications. And the main innovations here is not only the drag and drop experience, formula expressions, and the visual logic builder. It's also the complete backend development functionality. So SAP Build Apps is now a complete full stack development IDE for the no coders. If we move to the next slide, we're going to have also a look on SAP Build Workzone. SAP Build Workzone also brings together what was previously known SAP Launchpad Service and Workzone into one experience. That also means what you see here is that those two products became one. It's basically just a standard and an advanced edition with functionality, but they're using the same technology, they're using the same user experience, and they also use the same developer or builder experience to develop strong business sites. So this is more or less an entry into SAP Build Workzone, SAP Build Apps. And now I want to hand over to Thomas to dive deeper into SAP Build Process Automation.
Yeah, thank you, Sebastian. SAP Build Process Automation. We have launched SAP Process Automation a year ago at TechEd, and now we went live in February with SAP Process Automation. Several hundred customers are now already using and enjoying the no-code approach towards citizen development for process automation. And now with SAP Build Process Automation, we take the next step. You see that it has not changed, that we brought together the best of both worlds of automation, which is workflow automation and task automation with bots, but also more and more actually combining all the benefits of process automation when it comes to business rules and decisions, document understanding scenarios, into a consistent approach. And I think the news that we made were also interesting now at TechEd. There's a new integration with SAP Signavio solutions. Many customers have asked us, so you have all this great content on process improvement recommendations in the sense of RPA bots and what Sebastian also mentioned, content, business content, pre-built business content from our partners and from SAP when it comes to end-to-end processes. We call them live process content packages. How can we integrate that actually with SAP Signavio solutions when it comes to giving us recommendations on insights or after insights into problems for actions, in the sense of here you can automate better. And this is what we have done already during the course of the year. And now at SAP TechEd, we launched the next step, which is basically configuring an action directly out of SAP Signavio Process Intelligence, which is a process mining solution also. And you can configure triggers and actions. I will show you that later in the next couple of minutes. Next to that, we also launched, and we should not forget that, also we are working strongly with our ecosystem. We work together with Google. We have actually integrated also SAP Build Process Automation with Google Workspaces. We shipped a Google Workspace SDK so that you can automate processes that, for instance, extract data from Google Sheets, or from Google Calendar. You can automatically upload files on the Google Drive, plus also SDKs for Google AI and Google Vision AI for OCR scenarios that require handwriting support or handwriting detection. So this is also something where we have proven, hey, we are not sitting in an SAP silo alone, but we work with our customers and partners together to also look outside of SAP and see how we can make their progress as well. Good. I actually want to show you directly, a little bit of an update in the product itself. And here, this is something that, and let me start here, that you've probably seen. Well, I call it a process desk. You basically have your Launchpad, now SAP Workzone Standard, where you have configured several tiles like your inbox and tiles how you can trigger a process. One thing that I want to quickly highlight here is that we have actually support now for Horizon, the new Fiori Horizon theme, which makes it really look fresh. And just to very quickly show you a little bit around, I mean, of course, you can, here in a scenario that I've created for the demo, I request a new business partner and say this is actually Thomas. It's a category 1 and organization is SAP and the search term is SAP partner. And I want to request actually here, that new business partner as a salesperson. And I submit that form from SAP Build Process Automation, or actually built with SAP Build Process Automation. And then I can go and check what has happened here in the inbox. So, I'm asked for data enrichment, to enrich the address data, and I very quickly do that. Should not take too long. And submit the request, or submit actually this data enrichment step. And then the next step here is that, somebody needs to approve the business partner. So in the back office. So here I will approve this business partner very quickly so that we can show you later on how this was built. And I take a look at that, and you see here wonderful in the backend system in S4HANA, the business partner has been created. So this is actually the process. And of course, in the new or in actually SAP Build, we support also process visibility out of the box. So I've created just a couple of requests, so it will not be very populated, but you see that, we have already, quite a good step cycle time, because in these demos, I'm pretty fast, but here you can check directly without a lot of effort, what has happened here. And we have enhanced actually also our visibility dashboard that comes out of the box for every process or project that you build, and that you activate. You have these kind of dashboards out of the box, and we have enhanced actually also the phase view now, that you can see what happened when. For instance, here it's not so super interesting. Here you see more, a little bit of more delay in when I actually did the demo. So you see you have access to actually all the event information on the phase view that you've configured in the SAP Build project with a couple of clicks. Nothing has been done there, on UI development. So this is just simply generated. So this is a new kind of phase view, and this is the first very small update that I want to show you. But how has this been built? With SAP Build. So you've seen already in the short demo snippet that we have enhance the dialogue. And by the way, every tenant last week, every account has been automatically updated with the new user experience. So we always get the question, do customers have to do an update or upgrade or something like that? No. Automatically the new user experience and the new kind of SAP Build features are available. And you see, for instance, here in this new dialog that in my account, I have not, shame on me, subscribed to SAP Build apps completely, but you can see already, okay, what is it that I'm missing here if I have not done that? And here, then, you can start creating your process project, or if you want to start actually creating a task automation with an RPA bot, you can do that, or you can basically configure an action. And that's something that I also want to highlight. We have a new action editor that we have released just a couple of weeks ago. Now here, the first thing that I want to show you is we have a couple of new features on how you manage the project. So first, super exciting, specifically if you want to try out and you have a colleague who has shared with you a project, and you just want to piggyback on that and not contribute to that project, but create your own project, you can save an existing project as a new one, and then work from there. So pretty much copy a full-fledged project. Of course, you can export and transport projects from different kind of dev, test to production environments if you want. And you can manage actually the members of, okay, that's always the demo effect. You can manage actually the projects and project members here and provide authorization. So for instance, here in my project, you can see that Sebastian is a viewer. So what I will do is simply say, hey, Sebastian should be a developer. You can also say he is an administrator, which would give him the right to also, delete a project, so really administrate a project, but I simply make him, a citizen developer for that project. And I can also go and say everyone with access can basically view that project. So this is pretty easy, so wonderful. This is a new feature. And I would also like to show you now the actions. So I mentioned we have a new action editor. In my demo scenario where we created a business partner in S/4HANA, I, looked up actually the API to create a business partner, in API Business Hub, and I imported this with one click now here into SAP Build Process Automation. And you see that, APIs tend to be pretty powerful, and you have a lot of post, get, patch, delete actions in there. And say I just want to use one action here, whatever, whatnot. You go there, I just randomly click somewhere, and then basically you can start configuring this and say, hey, I do not want to have all of this here, and you can go and hide this. Actually, this is you remove actually the parameters from your action configuration, and the same you can do for the output, and so on and so forth. So fast forward, I will just stop this here and show you the API that I'm using in my project. This has been configured already. So you see here that we just need in the process a couple of really bare minimum kind of information for the organization name, the initial, last name, and so on. That's all necessary from the process to create actually the record in the backend system. I also have, a get and a patch action actually in this configuration. This is also helpful. We now support all CRUD actions, so create, read, update, delete. So specifically now in a couple of weeks, we will be releasing also, using actions for value helpers at runtime. So the get action is super, of course, important there. But here now, I have configured the input and the output. And what's also cool, before I actually really deploy something new, I can test it. And I simply select the destination that I got actually from the, from out of the Fusion team, from the IT department. This is a guardrail, the destination, physical. I can test it then and simply say, let me use here the retrieve, the get action, and not create a new record there. I just go and say, hey, let read just 2 supplier data. And here you see it works well. So you can test actually your action before you release or deploy or use it in the process, which is super helpful. Now, in the process itself, there are many, many things that, we have released lately, and I will show you something now which is super helpful. If you are, a customer or a partner and you use this, we have added next to the help topics, and we will continue to add more kind of interactive help tags in there, also a what's new section. So here you can see that lately we have enhanced the forms builder, with drag and drop, condition editor, and we have enhancements, task due date. We have added actually this new phase view, the Qualtrics survey, also for visibility. You can work on decision tables with import of spreadsheets. Data types can be imported with spreadsheets. All of the goodies that we have released, we feature that in the What's New section. And also, for instance, what I will show you in a minute is the sample content. Here you have added new content packages. But what I want to very quickly show you is, if you create a new process in the product, you are now able to choose between shall the process be triggered by a form or by an API. And if you say a new API, and let me simply very quickly do that, you can click on the canvas and define the input parameter for the API. And this is specifically important to us. This should be super easy. So say, okay, you can manually create now every input field, or say, hey, I have the business partner, data type definition already. Wonderful. Then you just reuse it and click on apply, and then the API signature, how you can invoke the process, is basically created automatically for you, and that defines then the context for, if you now, configure the data flow, this defines the context here for the whole data mapping. These were the very quick highlights. I mentioned content. Let me just also highlight that very quickly. We have here these new tiles that relate directly to sample templates. We have added also the first packages here, if you go into the store, as templates for SAP Build Process Automation here directly. And if I go, for instance, for an invoice approval, you say, okay, this is one of the first packages that includes also bots, for instance, a bot automation data type. You can click the link, create, from templates, demo invoice process. You hit create, and then automatically in a couple of seconds, a full-fledged project is created for you, including a bot, including the data type for the invoice, including several forms and the process itself. And you could go now and say, I want to release and deploy, and this whole thing is executable. But of course, customers would say, okay, I want to configure this to my needs. For instance, here, the form. You might want to add more, information here into the form with the drag and drop editor, whatever. I'm just randomly build something here. It doesn't make sense. But I think you get the point. Yeah, we are adding more and more content packages also here, and you see how easy it is to basically consume all of them. Good. So that was a very quick run through. It doesn't make sense because, we release so many new features regularly. Please check the What's New section going forward. And it always includes a little bit of a snippet or, a screenshot at least, and then links to actually more detailed information so that you can learn directly in the tool. Now, I talked about content and I talked about how important that is for recommendations. Let me quickly show you a small video about the SAP Signavio integration, because I said it's important for recommendations, but also how do you trigger an automated action?
The starting point for our customers to transform or automate their processes is the SAP Signavio Business Process Transformation Suite. Here, they can analyze, manage, and govern their processes end to end. In the following example, I would like to improve the leads to cash process. With SAP Signavio Process Insights, our customers can analyze all processes of an ECC or S/4HANA system within 24 hours. Let's look at the innovation recommendations, tailored to the results of my analysis. SAP Build Process Automation can improve this process in many ways, but today I will show you how to automate managing credit blocks on sales orders. In SAP Signavio, I navigate to the order-to-cash process and look at the investigations that have been created by a process analyst. I can see the different process flows a sales order can take in the system. And currently, sales orders are blocked automatically because they exceed the credit limit, and this affects our top line negatively. So I will configure an action trigger to leverage a process in SAP Build Process Automation, which automates unblocking sales orders that have been exceeding a credit limit. Each process instance will be triggered through an API call, fetching the sales order ID from SAP Signavio. And in the first step, the sales order details are fetched from the backend. Then, based on these details, the approver is determined through business rules and a notification is sent to the corresponding users. And in case of an approval, the sales order will be unblocked directly in SAP S/4HANA and an email is sent to the customer to notify them. In the case of a rejection, the customer will also be informed via an email. Now, I will configure the action trigger in SAP Signavio. So I provide a name and then select the SAP Signavio process containing the sales orders. I then select default view and I want to search the system for credit blocked sales orders on a daily basis. I then proceed to define the rules for the action trigger through a signal query. I instruct the system to search for sales orders that have the status blocked and to extract their information, including the overdue duration. The action type will be SAP PA Unblock Orders, and this functionality comes from the SAP Build Process Automation tenant. I select Sales Orders, activate the Notify Repeatedly checkbox, and proceed to create the action trigger. The trigger has been created successfully here and hasn't been executed so far, but it is also possible to run the action trigger manually. As a manager of the sales organization, I enter my inbox and see immediately that there are multiple tasks waiting for me. I review the data associated with a particular sales order and can then approve or reject the credit limit increase request. And in case of approval, the credit limit will be automatically increased in the SAP S/4HANA system.
So yeah, this is an exciting new addition actually, and please notice that the new action trigger in SAP Signavio is currently in a beta, and we're planning to release this feature in Q1 next year, in a couple of weeks. And if you're interested, please get in touch with us, and we can see how we explore also your feedback on this new feature. A couple of minutes I have left. I would just want to highlight what are the future themes. I mean, you see that we continue to enhance the way that you can build actually process flows for composability. We're also looking at unstructured processes, and that for that purpose, not only structured but unstructured processing cases. We are also looking at non-SAP automations and not only SAP automations. So this has been requested by many customers. We will enhance the action builder that we have seen with semantic discovery, not only of APIs, but more maybe on the level of business objects. For understandability of a citizen developer, people don't tend to think in APIs or data types, but in business objects and records. We will integrate with business events, and we will integrate with within SAP Build with SAP Build apps, and also through SAP Build apps, with other UI technology. Like Fiori UIs and so on for start and process UIs in a process. You saw that embedding the tool flow with SAP Signavio Post Intelligence, we have started on that already. I want to highlight, I'm super excited about what Sebastian mentioned in the beginning, SAP Build Apps, Visual Cloud Functions and formulas. That's what we also look forward to integrate with SAP Build Process Automation. And we will be working a lot on content based on the feedback from customers and partners. We will provide a library of actions out of the box, and we work with partners actually that the content marketplace for SAP can also feature partner content here for process automations, business process content packages. You will hear a lot from us probably already in the next call that we have on the updates. Having said that, I'm still here for questions. If you have questions, please put them in the chat, and we are happy to answer all of them.
That's right. Thanks so much, Thomas. Thanks so much, Sebastian. Dear audience, if you have a question, please feel free to write in the chat, and you may have noticed that I have added a lot of links to our SAP community, to the profiles of our speakers in the chat, also to the upcoming community calls. And if you would please stop sharing, Thomas. So the next community call about SAP Build Work Zone, sorry for that, will be on November 24th. The link is also in the chat. And the next one about SAP Build Apps will be on upcoming Monday, November 28th. So follow our SAP Community YouTube channel to get all the updates. All right, and if there are no questions, then I can only thank you again for having been part of this community call series. And I'm looking forward to the next one, and I wish everyone a great day ahead and talk to you soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.